The popularity of activity trackers is largely thanks to Fitbit. It's not uncommon these days to find people mulling over their plans to hit their 10,000 daily steps. But with a roster of popular activity trackers and 2 smartwatches under their belt, where next for Fitbit? The company is back with the Charge 3, which promises to bring some smartwatch features to their most popular fitness tracker. Now, it's been almost 2 years since Fitbit last released an activity tracker, and that was the Charge 2 back in 2016. So there have been some subtle design changes to the Charge 3. The monochrome OLED screen remains the same physical size, but benefits from a larger screen real estate. The display is backlit and can adjust for lighting conditions, which means no more squinting at it in bright sunlight and no more blinding you in the darkness. There is a new inductive button, which is a first for a fitness tracker. This, along with the streamlined rear side, are part of a larger effort to waterproof the device. This makes the Charge 3 the first Fitbit activity tracker to be fully waterproof, and it supports full immersion in water up to 50 meters, so you can wear it in both the pool and in the shower. In the box you'll find 2 straps, one small and one large, both made of the same elastomer in the same colour. These types of watch straps are fairly common amongst wearables and activity trackers, so you'll probably be familiar with them. They are interchangeable though, and Fitbit sells a variety of different colours and styles to suit your preferences. However, if you do a bit of searching around online, you'll probably find some from a third party for significantly less. On the underside of the Charge 3 you'll find the optical heart rate monitor and the charging pins. Now, the Charge 3 does come with its own proprietary charger, and frustratingly it is different to the chargers that came with the previous Charge devices. And while this might seem a little annoying, it's likely to accommodate the new waterproof design. Now, there are some standard features you expect to see on an activity tracker, and that's no different here. The continuous heart rate monitor and automatic sleep tracking sit right alongside the all-important pedometer. The automatic exercise recognition feature means there's no time-consuming setup before starting a workout, and you can now set workout goals directly on the device. Both of Fitbit's previous smartwatches, the Ionic and the Versa, both came with an SpO2 sensor. However, the Charge 3 is the first activity tracker to feature it. The sensor should mean that the device is able to estimate your blood oxygen levels. However, just like with the previous 2 smartwatches, Fitbit hasn't actually enabled the feature here, and doesn't have a proposed timeline of when they will. But if they do enable it at some point in the future though, it may be used to determine if you have suffered from sleep apnea or other health conditions. Previous Fitbit trackers have had some level of notification support, pushing through notifications from your phone, but this has usually been limited to just a few types of notifications. The Charge 3 imports the Versa's notification handling so that you can now view all the notifications directly from your wrist, and Android users are even able to use custom quick replies directly from the Charge 3. Fitbit Pay, which is the company's contactless payment system, is also available on the Charge 3, but only on the Charge 3 Special Edition, which costs around an extra $20. The Charge 3 also comes equipped with a Timers app, where you can either start a stopwatch or use a countdown timer. Now, this may sound kind of trivial, but it's the kind of thing that people tend to use their phones for, especially when they're exercising. So its inclusion here means that you can safely leave your phone at home and still get all of your workout done. The Charge 3 comes preloaded with apps, although you probably wouldn't call them that. These apps are some of the standard features of a Fitbit, including things like exercise tracking and alarms. Now, it would seem that the newly named apps are actually an import of a certain design language used across the company's smartwatches. However, if you open the Fitbit app on your smartphone, you'll find that all of the apps available for the Charge 3 have already been installed, so there's not anything extra for you to install. Whether Fitbit will add any more compatible apps to the Charge 3 in the future, though, remains to be seen. There are another 2 apps installed, and one is the Weather, which actually works on this device, and the Relax app. The Relax app is actually a simple guided breathing exercise, and although that might not seem like a lot, it is a simple, easy, quick way to bring some calm to your day. Once the display is on, you swipe down to see your notifications, swipe up to see your daily stats, and swipe left to see your installed apps. The daily stats area has undergone a redesign too for the Charge 3. Previously, your step count was front and center of any Fitbit device as soon as the screen turned on, and that's no longer the case. Fitbit seems to have taken cues from the Apple Watch, and instead of having your step count on the first screen, there is actually a circle that represents your daily step goal, and the further you move through the goal, the more complete the circle gets. However, the actual number is only a swipe away in the daily stats area, which now includes female health tracking if you have already set that up in the past. Now, those of you holding out hope for an inbuilt GPS will likely be disappointed with the Charge 3, as the only GPS support comes from your connected phone. If an inbuilt GPS unit is important to you, then it may be worth considering the Fitbit Ionic smartwatch instead. Fitbit estimates that the Charge 3 will last about 7 days on a single charge, and during testing, I actually surprisingly found that it got 8. One of the downsides of being an early adopter is that sometimes you encounter bugs and hardware flaws, and that was the case with the Charge 3. To perform the initial setup, you have to connect it to the charger, which I did. I let it get to 100% and also performed the available update. However, when I came to take it off the charger, the screen wouldn't turn on. And it wasn't clear whether the screen just wouldn't turn on, or whether the device was actually off. And this was just 2 days after launch, and there were already others experiencing the same problem. A quick look online found dozens of Fitbit forum posts all with the same problem. In fact, there were so many that Fitbit actually merged all of these into one single mega thread on the issue. The advice was to contact Fitbit support. And on doing so, I was told that basically they were aware of the issue and were looking into it and would get back to me. Well, after about 10 days had gone by and I hadn't heard anything from them, I decided to get in touch myself. And the solution, as it turns out, was just to replace the device with them. Now, I do have to say that the replacement worked perfectly. And while it might be disappointing that the Charge 3 had a hardware issue to begin with, what is actually more disheartening is Fitbit's lackluster response to it. So then, is the Charge 3 a worthwhile upgrade? Well, it is an iterative update of previous fitness trackers from the company, but it's one that brings some of the most useful smartwatch features in tow. Now, if you already have something like the Charge 2, then you may see these updates as relatively modest and perhaps not worth the investment. However, for others, you may find that the waterproofing actually makes it worth the cost. The Charge 3 is priced at around $150, which makes it $60 cheaper than the Versa, Fitbit's most affordable smartwatch. And this pricing makes the feature pack device one of Fitbit's best value devices to date. Thanks very much for watching this review. If you liked it, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you disagree with anything we had to say here, then write it down in the comments. Subscribe to make use of for twice weekly giveaways and tech tutorials, and if you want to read the full review, make sure to click the link in the description below. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. As a reward, enter the code CHARGE into the giveaway widget for some extra entries.